YouTube fan, go ahead and check it out for me and tell me if we are up there. Edward writes, good morning, choppers. Get to the chopper. Good morning to you, Edward Lee, Tommy Smith. Got the whole name in there. Good morning, Nate and the Choppers. That's David Herring. Janine writes, morning, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you. Thumbs up and a fist. I'll take it. Diario writes, the Tupac and Biggie killing was nothing more than a gang fight. Pac and Suge was Bloods, and Diddy and Biggie were Crips. Yeah, I mean, I could tell somebody, we've been going to the same well for information. That's why I just love YouTube, man. It's just so much information on YouTube. Let me go to the phones and say good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nathan. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, brother Fame. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm with you on the, first of all, let me just say this. I don't care if you like it or not. Tupac Shakur and Allen Iverson are the two most overrated people of our generation. Tupac was an asshole. Okay? I don't know who's out there trying to say the government killed him, blah, blah, blah. I don't believe that for one bit. He was an asshole who ran out of luck. All right? Ran up on dude. You know, what the hell? You're the biggest rap star in the world. What are you doing in a Las Vegas casino where every nook and cranny of that city is under surveillance? What are you doing running up punching a gang member for? A known gang member. Like this dude was like you said on those Vlad TV videos, this wasn't no just Rudy Poo gang member who was just claiming a set. This dude had bodies under him. He was official. He was certified. It was clear that this was not the dude to cross. Stay out of his way. And you run up and clock him. You know what I'm saying? And those gang members that you were around, they knew about this dude's rap. And they let you go up there and clock him. The government didn't kill him. You know, he's down there in Atlanta. He shoots two off-duty cops who got involved in some gun stuff. He got lucky on that one. He didn't know that they were cops. He was just busted at two random white men he saw harassing a black dude. They just happened to be cops. You know, there's nothing special about him. You can watch All Eyes on Me. I didn't find nothing. I thoroughly enjoyed Notorious and Straight Outta Compton way more than I did All Eyes on Me. If we're talking about rapper biopics.
I don't really care for any of them.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I understand, yeah. I can respect that, but yeah, Tupac was like, this dude's so conflicted, he was bound to just run out of luck at some point. And that's all he was. But as far as these prize shirts, that's some bull. You know, the former head of Zomba Records, Tom Wally or something like that, is in charge of his likeness and estate in that and sanctioned that move to sign up with some gay stuff. Like, I'm not so sure he would have been down with all that. As much as he called people BANs and things like that in his music. You know what I'm saying? I just don't I don't see that he would have been down like that, openly allowing his likeness to be associated with such a movement. So I'm calling foul on that. I'm calling technical foul. We're going to, take two shots to keep the rock on that one because that's some bull that this guy's done. But yeah, I don't, we've been forced to accept and appreciate Iverson and Tupac Shakur, two of the biggest malcontents I've ever seen in my life. Nothing made these people happy. They got more money than they ever needed. And they're still not happy, running into all kinds of trouble, being millionaires. You understand? And the only reason probably Iverson and Mike Tyson, for that matter, are even still alive and Tupac is dead because white America feared rap music more than they do sports, athletes. So I don't celebrate Tupac in any kind of way. I don't care who doesn't like it. He had what was coming to him. But I don't think he would be down with this movement. That whoever that person is, saying that the government killed him, like, you're part of the problem. worshiping this clown. Do you follow, sir?
Yeah, I understand everything you're saying, brother. Anything else?
Absolutely not. Don't forget, tomorrow, 6 p.m., Norwood High School Board of Education meeting. We're going for Mary Ronan's educator license. She should not be around. She should not have a state license to be around children based on her answers in depositions and whatnot in that lawsuit involving Gabriel Tasered. We're going to ask her to be a gentleman about it and step away, surrender her license.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, it'd be alt middle meet and greet. You can meet us there at 5. The meeting starts at 6. You can meet the alt middle at 5. We'll sign autographs, take pictures, and then the school board meeting starts at 6. So we'll be there.
Got you, brother.
All right. It's been real. I had fun, and y'all stay blessed.
I'll say it again. Mary Ronan's name should remove from any building associated with CPS, just based upon the comments that she made after the death of Gabriel Tasered. I'll say it again, just absolutely reprehensible for the superintendent of the school to come out and make a statement. It's reprehensible, irresponsible, immoral for her to come out and make a statement like, oh, well, we did nothing wrong. There's no connection between bullying and suicide. What are you talking about? And now, 4 years later, to the shame of all of us, Cincinnati Public Schools is settling, and they never should have fought the lawsuit from day one. And people here making excuses for CPS. Oh, they had to do this. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. And just think about 4 years of time that was wasted. If they would have fallen on the sword, taken responsibility, they could have put these reforms in place 4 years ago. It could save another student's life and or circumstances. But no, CPS, the former, or she's still the current superintendent, Laura Mitchell, and the board decided, no, we're going to go forward with this. And nobody calling here telling me, oh, well, they took the recommendation from the lawyer. It's just a recommendation. You're the client. You the boss. You in charge. It just needs to be said that the only reason, in my opinion, that CPS has settled this lawsuit is because they could read the writing on the wall. They got a very, very bad ruling from the 3-panel 6th Circuit Court of Appeal. The judges basically took the case and said, take that shit. Get this dumb out of here. Basically what they said. And that's the reason why they settled. They should have, if they had any soul, if the leadership of CPS that made the decision about the lawsuit, if they had any soul, they would have did this fucking 4 years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Why'd you wait so long? Why? But I only bring this up because that's what I do. I keep bringing up the stuff that's uncomfortable because nobody else is going to do it. We just love to sweep things under the rugs. Like, yeah, that's embarrassing. Let's just make it go away. No, we're not going to just make it go away. It was wrong. It still remains wrong. $3 million is not enough. The little black boy's life is worth more than $3 million. And shame on CPS. And I hope all of the people involved burn in hell for what they did, period. I'm talking about the people at Carson Elementary. I hope they burn in hell. I hope on their judgment day, they got to deal with that. That's what I hope. Because his mother and his family got to deal with their loss every single day. Just do your damn job. As simple as that. It's real simple. Find a little kid that's being bullied. You contact mom and dad. You tell them the whole story. How hard is that? How hard is that? But you got these heartless folks, man. Some of these folks is heartless. They only care about the prestige and the paycheck. So I had to make that point. So, and Mary Ronan was a superintendent when it all went down. She did an interview with WCPO. And in the interview, she like, I don't know what happened. We have no idea. Ain't on us. There's no connection between the two, huh? Now here you go 4 years later, CPS is settling. Huh? Bad people. Bad people. Thanks for the call, Fang. He tripping. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. Talking about what we doing autographs. You gonna do a book signing? We're doing autographs and a book signing. We'll sign T-shirts, kiss babies, and we got some bottled waters we'll be giving out at the same time. That's today at 5 p.m. He is nuts. Kamara writes, good morning. Hey, good to see you, Kamara. Kelly writes, good morning. Jerome writes, you up on YouTube. Maurice writes, I agree with your statement. Mother always said, you think you're bad, but remember, there's always somebody better than you. Always. Absolutely. Edward writes, I don't Diddy because possibly be Crypto Blood or anything gang affiliated. I don't know if Diddy himself was gang affiliated, but when he came to Los Angeles during that faithful tour with Biggie many, many years ago, he did surround himself, as the story goes, with gang elements for protection. And then, as I understand it, and again, I'm getting us all secondhand, third hand from books and then a lot of YouTube videos. For protection, Puffy had shooters around him too. He had some people that was ready to get blizzy in a minute around him as well for protection. And apparently it was Suge was trying to strong arm P. Diddy like he was doing all the other major music executives. Suge would just roll in there and just straight debo you. Like, sign this. Like, what is this? Oh, royalties? You weren't on that project. I didn't ask you if it was on the project. Sign this and give me royalties. And dudes was doing it. Like signing over millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars in royalties and other fees because Suge was physically intimidating them. So he tried that with P. Diddy, and P. Diddy wasn't having it. He's like, nah, bro, I ain't doing that. We got killers too. And that's part of the story. Mrs. Loving Being Black writes, good morning, fellow beautiful smart choppers. Good morning to you. Edward writes, I don't think Diddy could have ever been in any gang. He just came across too soft. Milani writes, good morning, all. Good morning to you. Al is a cool dude, firsthand experience. Yeah, he talked about AI. The hell? Everybody loves AI. My name is Maurice Chapman. Address what you have said to me by putting my name on it. Okay. Oh, boy. That's going into it. Oh, man. That writes, ask her to be a gentleman about it. I caught that too. A classy one writes, Tupac is the king of rap. Deshauna writes, good morning. YouTube wasn't on. Okay. Your YouTube is behind on timing. Okay. All right. I'll take a look at it. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. So just real quick, the reason why we talking about Tupac real quick, I mean, just the first half hour show of the show or so of the show, hot or not, Tupac Pride t-shirts. It's Pride Month, everybody. It's Pride Month. And as a part of Pride Month, the Tupac Foundation has created these limited edition sweatshirts and t-shirts and things like that. I can show you some more. Here's the white ones. And that's the black ones. And then they got the Changes Tupac t-shirt. Now, all the proceeds are going to go to organizations that will work for the betterment of the LGBTQ community and also transgender Black people, Black women in particular. Okay, so worthy causes, we know that. But I want to know, just what's your gut, hot or not? Tupac Pride t-shirts. And some people are saying that here we go again with the emasculation of Black men and Black figures. Now they didn't dug Tupac up. We all know he was hyper masculine, hyper heterosexual. We all know that. I don't say that in any kind of way for it to be a pejorative or a negative. I'm just telling you that was my viewpoint. You can challenge it if you like, but my viewpoint is that Tupac, what he put out there was hyper Black male masculinity, hyper Black male heterosexuality, right? That's what he was about. Now flash forward and they're selling Tupac Pride t-shirts. Hot or not, real quick. For me, I say the artwork is hot. You can't say that's not hot. You're lying if you say that's not hot. And then, it's going to some worthy causes. That's hot. Everything else is debatable for me. I want to get your thoughts on it. What's also hot is Kevin Durant. I woke up this morning thinking that the Nets were going to lose. I didn't watch the game last night, but I was checking in with the scores. They was down by 15, 17 points. James Harden had 0 points. It wasn't working. He tried to work. I wake up this morning, Kevin Durant went for what, 50, 49? In what people are calling a classic Game 5 playoff performance. So props to Kevin Durant. And what does it do? 6'10", 6'11", with handles, can shoot every shot in the gym and cross you over and boom on you. I mean, how you stop a dude like that? Obviously, it's tough. So the Nets win Game 5 for my NBA fans like that out there. Let me see. Milani writes not. Mrs. Love being black writes not. Ronald writes KD had a historic game. Milani writes, I think this pride stuff is going a bit too far. Is it? Is it possible for them to go too far? Okay, so let's take out pride stuff and put in civil rights. Can civil rights, like the push for civil rights, because that's essentially what the pride is all about. It's civil rights, parity, equity policy tangibles for LGBTQ people, right? Cool. Got no problem with it. But can you ever go too far? They're not harming nobody. They ain't killing nobody, right? They simply have a rap icon's image and they are borrowing that. Some people might say appropriate. They're borrowing that image for Pride Month. And that's it. Nat writes, best game I've seen from Durant, and I've seen a lot. Really? Okay. Caramel writes, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you. Charles writes, not hot. Tupac wouldn't be with this if he was alive. The gays are using his imagery to make money. The gays, G-E-I-G-H-S. Is that what we doing now, Charles? The gays, G-E-I-G-H-S. Phonetically, you're right. I don't even think you need that G. The G is silent. It could just be G-E-I-H-S, but you do you. I think either way works. I'm no vocabulary teacher. Surely not. Using his imagery to make money. Well, point in fact is you're right. They are using his imagery to make money for these nonprofits, right? For homeless LGBTQ youth. I think that that's a worthy cause. I don't give a damn what your sexual orientation is. We want to get you off the streets and get you into a home, right? I don't give a damn. It makes no difference. I'm against homelessness wherever it is, right? I think we all agree with that. And then the other is supporting Black trans women. I didn't know this, but Black trans women built everything. I had no idea. I went to a Twitter account, the Marsha P. Johnson Institute, and that's what it says. Black trans women built everything. Okay. All right, then. Okay, cool. Whatever. That works too. Whatever. Let me see. A classy one writes, LGBTQ has many races in that community. Stop acting like it's only white. True. You're right. You're right about that. Absolutely, 100%. Let me see here. Sister V's in the house. Hey, let me back up. We got some folks in the shop. Sharp Rice, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you. CG Dub Rice, good morning, Choppers. Miss D Rice, greetings. Sign autographs and take pictures, right? Sister V Rice, Hotep, beautiful Choppers. Good morning to you. Those Pac shirts are ugly. That's Mila J. Really? You think they ugly? I hope Pac's people come for those who are using his image. Why can't they use Lil Nas? I'm not sure who Lil Nas is, but I get your point. Those Pac shirts are ugly. Really? You think they ugly? I don't think it's not ugly to me. That's dope. Okay, you got the image of Tupac. I mean, I'm not sure if that really looks like Tupac. There's something going on with the nose and the eyes, but I mean, it's close enough. If you ask people who is that, especially with the chain, you're gonna say Tupac. Here's the white ones. That's cool. It's the Pride collection. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Now, did they do a Black History collection? Are they gonna do a Juneteenth collection? I don't know. We will find out. All right, I think we got to the bottom of that. Again, if you want to keep it coming and hot or not, I want to know your thoughts on it. You can tell me. Let me see. Brandon writes, morning, choppers. Morning. Nikki writes, we're back on Facebook. We are back on Facebook, Nikki. Facebook has been gracious enough to allow our show to come back to their platform. So I'll take it for what it is. Brandy writes, good morning. Lil Nas. Oh, Lil Nas. Lil Nas is the Old Town Road kid. Right. Oh, Lil Nas. So you saying rather than using Tupac's likeness, use Lil Nas not likeness. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, Lil Nas X is of the LGBTQ community, so it makes sense. He is a huge star right now, and I think a huge role model for a lot of people. Makes sense. I get it. Why not do both? Tupac and Lil Nas X. It's all the same, right? You're trying to reach a lot of people. A classy one writes, a lot of blacks forget about black LGBTQ icons. Yes, they do, a classy one. Yes, they do. You're right about that, especially when it comes to their contributions to the civil rights community and the legacy that black folks have enjoyed. Some black folks get amnesia. What they do for us? I've had these arguments for years, man. I don't give a damn about somebody's sexual orientation. If you come into the game and you bring in something that's going to move it forward, come on in. Brandy writes, good morning, no, on the Tupac shirt. Okay. Lil Nas X represents their community more than Tupac ever did. You're absolutely right about that. Brandon writes, you Lil Nas X, not Tupac. Damn. One of them for one of those? I hear you. I hear you. It makes sense. Let me move on. We can come back to this conversation. I want to add some more things to the conversation as we get deeper and deeper and deeper. You know, there was a big conversation about the CCA, Citizens Complaint Authority. You know, that the council members are debating about the budget priorities right now. I think they're going to finally debate the vote on this next week. And there was some movement, and there was also some conversation about it in a committee meeting just yesterday. And what came out of that committee is it looks like the CCA is going to get an increase in funding up to $250,000. I think that's what the recommendation was coming from the committee from City Council yesterday, which I think is good news, right? They're going to be getting more funding. What does CCA do? Well, basically, when you have a complaint about an officer, maybe you had a bad interaction, maybe you viewed a bad interaction, you can contact them. They'll do an investigation, reach out to the officers, and perhaps recommend some measures, discipline, or whatever that should happen because of it, right? That's part of what they do. They're all supposed to be doing some stuff in terms of, analyzing data, getting data, and keeping on top of things. But to my knowledge, they have been underfunded from the jump. And we talked with Gabe Davis a few months back. He is the new director of CCA. He spent a whole hour with us and talked in great detail about every facet of what CCA does. I thought it was fascinating. And in that conversation, I remember he said, I think the number that he said was $400,000 at that time. And he said they need the money to add new investigators because there's a year backlog. So what does that mean? That means that if they've got cases from a year ago, like a calendar year ago, that they're still kind of deal with. And that's just, to me, it's just unacceptable. Everybody in the city, all the politicians in this city, they love to beat their chest and talk about the collaborative. They love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. If local people get national platforms and national attention or an opportunity to be on a national platform, in a lot of cases, they'll mention the collaborative and how historic it is and how Cincinnati is different and we're so unique and look at us, look at us, look at us. But then when you get to the nitty gritty and talk about the funding, I still don't understand why people don't put their money where their mouth is. So I think it's great. $250,000. From what I read, they'll be able to hire at least 2 new investigators. But it falls short of what the ask is. I think the ask was $500,000. And from what I read, the assistant city manager or the current city manager made a comment like, hey, we'll revisit this in a little while to see whether this funding was actually something that you really needed or not. And I'm like, well, if the director is saying this and everybody's claiming that the collaborative and everything about it is such a great idea and such a good priority. Why don't we fund it? Why don't we fund it? I saw that $75,000 is going to go to Black and Brown artists. $250,000 is going to go. These are just conversations now. These are just proposals to CCA. We somebody brought this up. Was it last week or early in the week about if you got a priority, which would it be? Would you rather the money go to Black artists here locally, or would you rather it to go to CCA? Sister Iris called in, and I agree with what she said. It's a shame that we have to make these kind of decisions, but it's a finite budget. That's what it's going to come down to. Meanwhile, you see other neighborhoods get millions of dollars, hundreds of $1,000s for their projects. That needs to be put in there as well. But you know, I think what CCA is doing has an impact on every Cincinnatians, black, white, or whatever. It really doesn't matter your race, right? I think primarily because we know of the over policing and some of the attitudes that happen when it comes to black people in police, then black people will benefit. But the way it works is you don't have to be black to have a complaint. It goes for anybody. And that's something that we desperately need. That's what happened, with the civil unrest. People got sick and tired of knocking on the door and getting no response. We're tired of being brutalized. No response. Over and over and over and over and over again. You feel like there's no avenue to deal with your issues. No way to deal with that steam. Well, smart people came together and came up with a fantastic idea. I say fund it to the absolute max. If they asking for $400,000, give them $400,000. They asking for $500,000, give them $500,000, and then let's see what a CCA that's fully funded can actually do. Let's see what full funding they're able to do the investigations, and they're working with the data collection and analysis. Let's see what that brings. It might bring an even better relationship between the police and the community. I 100% disagree with what the head of the FOP here, Dan Hills, had to say about it. This fool, went to the media, his own social media, and tried to make it seem like, well, if city council votes to increase the funding of CCA, it's going to lead to an uptick in crime because, police officer morale is going to be affected. It's amazing the way that we coddle police officers. I'm going to say this. I know there's a lot of police officers out there. I'm just going to let you know how I feel. But it's amazing how there's such an effort to coddle police officers as if every little thing they feel we supposed to care about. Go do your job. You show me a police officer that doesn't want to be a police officer because CCA got more funding, and I'm going to show you a person that doesn't need to be on the force. Get their ass up out of here then. We don't need you. We don't need you. If you're a police officer, like, oh my God, I'm going to have to be held accountable for the way I treated this citizen. That's all it is. CCA is not down here railroading police officers. That's not what they do. They ain't setting up police officers for failure. They're looking at the facts. And if the facts determine more, they make a recommendation, period. They've had plenty of cases where there's a complaint, they research a complaint and find there's nothing there and nothing happens. See, that's why I say, man, we have a few people in very, very key places that need to be gone here in Cincinnati, Hamilton County. We need some fresh faces and a fresh mentality because that makes no sense to me. Well, it's going to affect morale and police officers not going to want to do their job. Well, if you don't want to do the job, take that badge off, take the uniform off, go put it over here. And guess what? We're going to cut them benefits and the pay. We'll get somebody to do the job that's got a better attitude. Simple as that. It's like there's this mentality that we should just get out of the way and let officers do whatever they want to do. There was a case. CCA found that in a case in which a black man who's autistic, this man was just walking home from the park late at night. Two police officers got into their head. You know what? He looks suspicious. The man was autistic. He didn't really comprehend. They ended up tasering him just to make him stop. They had no evidence that he committed a crime whatsoever. None. So what you telling me? And then you had the FOP president who was arguing that CCA came to the wrong decision. And the decision that they found is that the officers should not have used the kind of force that they use. So let me tell you, you feel safe in a country where police can just randomly stop you. They don't suspect you of being a part of any crime whatsoever. They have no evidence you did anything wrong. And when you say, well, what did I do? Okay, I want to leave and try to walk away, they taser you. And that's okay. Huh? Telling you, man, there are people out there that try to use crime against us. They like crime. Crime is a part of what they do. They love it because they can use the crime as leverage against the people. Oh, be afraid. If it wasn't for us, we're your last line of defense. And they will run with that and run with that. They keep it doing. Fear mongering is so big in the city. Please. Baloney. I don't believe any of it. I don't believe any of it. So I'm happy to see the CCA is going to get $250,000. I would have been happy if they got the whole $500,000, but that's the way the budget process works. You make a request, you don't always get it. For me personally, not saying this is the decision, but if this was the decision, either or, like money for Black artists or money to fund CCA, I put the money in CCA every day, all day. It's just more impactful. It means more to more people. That's just me. It's sad that we have to make these kind of decisions, but when you got a finite amount of money, then that's what happens. And when you got certain people on city council making these decisions, like I said, we got 3 people on city council right now that were never voted on. Bessie Sunderman was never voted by the people. Never. Councilman Keating, never voted by the people. Never happened. But they're on council. We got to deal with it, what their decision is. It is what it is. Brandon writes, local FOP is full of ish. How does the CCA being funded distract an officer from doing his or her job? Right. It's like the coddling of police officers and they're sensitive, some, not all, because I know some police officers and they 100%, they conscious. They know what time it is. They got a job to do. They're not weak individuals at all. But this weakness, like, oh, little baby, oh, we can't say this because it's going to affect morale. Then get your shit, put it in a box, resign, and go do something where, you don't have to be critiqued. Nobody told you to be on the force. You chose to be on the force. It comes with the territory. That's like me complaining because people leave comments criticizing me or the show. It comes with the territory. You know what I'm saying? It's part of the game. It is what it is. I don't understand it. Maurice writes, right, Nate. Politically Petty Podcast Show writes, Dan Hills is one of the biggest white racists in Cincinnati. Yeah, I spoke with Dan Hills. I mean, unless there's something newsworthy, I don't really feel a need to talk with Dan Hills because we end up talking in circles and I don't really waste my time with that. We spoke with him a few years ago and his full dumb-ish was on display. The whole thing was on display. And at some point, he was less concerned about finding some commonality. He was more concerned about keeping up that 700 WLW, Protect the Blue Facebook group persona and a whole bunch of dumb ish. And it is what it is. Charlie Wimburn writes, good morning, wonderful and great people. Remember to focus on what you really want in life and give zero attention to what you don't want. Absolutely. I'm with that. Hold on, folks. I want to make sure. Okay. Okay, cool. I agree with that. I'm with that. Let me see here. I am looking for a text message for a potential guest. Hold on one second here. I want to make sure they get the information. Somebody writes, Dan Hills is Klan. I don't know if he's Klan or not. I don't know. I just feel like these FOP presidents, they feel as if they have to, and their job is to protect police, not the community. I get it. It's to protect the interests of police officers. But I think there's a way you can do that and still not come off like you coming in from a whole different dimension, right? Sometimes when you hear Dan Hills talks, it's like, what world does he live in? And I think you can protect the interests of police officers and at the same time be a positive member of the local community. They don't have to be at odds with one another. You know what I'm saying? He'd be bickering with Iris and arguing arguing about dumb ish and all this kind of stuff. I mean, is all that necessary? I don't think so. I don't think so. And to me, CCA actually, I mean, if I'm a police officer, you want an organization like CCA. Because like I said, they got plenty of cases in which they get a complaint, they do the investigation and realize officer did nothing wrong. Nobody says anything about that. They just want to focus when CCA makes a recommendation that the officer did something or officers did something wrong. So it is what it is. Kamar writes, 4 people appointed. Fame writes, if it's about pride, then show us right now how proud you are. Tell us about you. Tabitha writes, Cincinnati be arguing about everything and nothing and never get their fair share when it comes to black anything. Let me see. Never get their fair share. Well, I mean, the arguing part, I mean, that's just human communication. You got to have a place and places to talk things out and share opinions. Never get their fair share. Well, I think that falls back on us. You know, if we don't organize in intelligent ways and create vehicles that create leverage for us, then we never will. That's really more on us. Good morning, great people. Sister Iris writes, I don't bicker. I'm checking his ass. I hear you on that, sis. Good morning to you. Let me throw my number up there because good things happen. 513-873-7134. If you like to share your thoughts this morning, I am here to receive it. I'm here for all of that work this morning. I want to talk about all of it with you. Fox writes, rise and shine, young stars. Hey, good to see you. What's up, Fox? Ray writes, fear-mongering has been profitable for hundreds of years. They roll with whatever works, right? Mm-hmm. Mila J writes, he looked creepy. You talking about the Tupac image? Oh man, I hope Pac's people come for those. All right, I think I read it already. They say he looks creepy, huh? Let me look at this real quick. Does he look creepy? He does look a little creepy. I'll give you that. I don't know, something about the nose or something. I don't know what it is, but we couldn't find another better artist, but you know, it's meant to be art. So it's not an exact, reflection of Pac. It's a representation of Pac, highlighting some of his classic facial features, I guess. Yeah, that works too. Good morning. Danita writes, good morning, all. Rachel writes, good morning, family. Happy hump day. Good morning to you. I think what I'll do is I'll just maybe throw the here we go. We throw the chat up on the screen there. Yeah, good morning to you, Rachel. It is Wednesday. Man, the weeks go so fucking fast. We Wednesday already? Dan Hills isn't a chief. He's a president of FOP. Don't get it confused. And who runs the department? Absolutely. Yeah, Dan Hill runs his mouth. Chief Elliot Isaac runs the department. But unfortunately for us, when he runs his mouth, he gets a platform in this city. It is what it is. Let me see here. Let me move on. Oh boy, really? Oh man. Okay. Hold on one second. I need to send a Facebook message to my guest. I want to make sure they can get on the show this morning. It's very, very important to me. Let me see. Where are we at? I see you, Maurice. Good morning to you. I'm gonna have to take a break. What is it? We'll take a break here in a couple of minutes, and that'll give me a chance to take care of what I need to do. We need to review the Civil Rights Bill. TNT writes, good morning. Good morning to everybody. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Rosemary writes, I'm here. Hey, what's up, Rosemary? Okay, there you go. Great. So let me put the call-in number right here. Here's the call-in number. There it is, and you can give us a call. Yeah, I'm scheduled to speak with Rosemary's Baby's Company. They're putting together an event coming up next week, and I've been doing my part to talk about it and to share as much as possible. It's called My Legacy Matters. It's a teen father resource fair June 22nd. So that's just next week. It's next Tuesday, to be exact, from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the event takes place at Rosemary's Babies Company at 4439 Reading Road. Teen fathers 13 to 19 and their children are welcome. Food, dad swag, I love that. Community resources, diaper bags, photos, and more. Hold on here. You can register for a free gift online at their website. That's 3Ws.rosemarysbabies.co. Again, Teen Father Resource Fair. This is circulating from a lot of different places on social media. When you see it, if you feel like this is something that you can get behind and you support, you feel like it's a good idea, then please like it. In particular, share it, because sharing is caring. Share it online to the people on your page or the Facebook groups that you like to go to, and let people know about this. All right, coming up next Tuesday. Kamar writes, I love Rosemary's Babies. Okay. And speaking of Rosemary, I think we have Rosemary on the line right now. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for sharing our message.
Oh, absolutely, Rosemary. Good morning to you. Thank you for the time.
Oh, always. I listen every morning. I'm just in the background, just like, oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, it gets real. It gets real. So, let's talk about the event. It's the My Legacy Matter event. Let's start there. Then I want to get some more information about Rosemary's Babies Company for folks who don't know. But let's start with the event. It's Tuesday. What is it? What can people expect? Who are you trying to connect with, and what's going on?
Yeah, so this is actually like National Fatherhood Month. And the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services felt it was important to highlight fathers and give them supportive resources. And so this is the first year that we've done this Dad's Fair. We're actually kicking it off on Monday with a panel discussion online on our Facebook with Eddie Cohen of the Urban League, Dion Mack from the Cincinnati Police Department, and Ron Bryant, who is the president of Ronald Bryant Insurance. And they were all teen fathers. And so they'll be talking about generational wealth and breaking generational cycles. And that will lead into our next day event, the Resource Drive-By Fair, where we're giving out diapers, give $50 gift cards to Amazon. We're giving out pretty much everything. And then we'll actually have Talbot House there, the fatherhood program, Harold, who runs that, will be there to answer child support questions and rights of dads questions, just a little bit of everything. But we want it to be a supportive resource for our younger fathers in this community, because there's no one doing that work and no one answering those questions. So when these young men, as they have these babies at 14, 15, and 16, they're actually turning into adults not having accurate information, which is leading to incarceration, which is leading to them not getting good jobs because I don't want to have to pay child support, which is leading to a lot of cycles of just damaging, their relationships with their children and their children's parents. And so we want to be able to stop that. That was a lot, wasn't it?
It was a lot, but it was all good information, though. Okay. So, again, June 22nd, 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. And
yes.
What's been the response so far? You gotten a good response?
Yeah, like it's very low. And that's because a lot of times mothers, when these teen girls have these babies, pretty much they're stuck raising them on their own. And so we've kind of reached out to the moms and saying, hey, tell the dads to come, even if they're not really a part of their lives, at least tell them to come and pick up the resources for you. I think that younger fathers, they're embarrassed. They don't want to go out and get the resources. And so we're really relying on parents and grandparents and and the children's mothers to give them that information. We've reached out to the Hispanic community, which there's a lot of younger fathers there, and we support that community. And so we're hoping that it increases and that maybe people just show up. Again, we have like $2,500 worth of gift cards that we're giving out. We have so much merchandise and baby wipes and just everything, food and everything that we're giving out. And you just need to bring the father. because we have to see them, and that's a part of that paperwork stuff. So they have to come, and it's just drive by. No long discussions. If they don't want to talk, they don't have to stay, but come get the resources because they'll be in the bags anyway.
Mm-hmm. So tell us about Rosemary's Babies Company. Like, who are you? What do you do? Who do you serve?
So I'm Rosemary, of course, and we serve teen parents in Greater Cincinnati and the tri-state area between the ages of 13 and 20. But we serve teens as young as 9. We do everything from 24/7 confidant care, where I'm always on social media pretty much because teen parents can contact us through any social platform for resources, transportation to an appointment or to work, workforce development. We educate younger kids. We have Tuesday parenting sessions. 100% of our resources are free. And we're hoping that in 2022, 2023, we are actually doing residential housing for teen parents. And so just any work, if there's a teen that says, I'm going to parent my child, you should be connected to Rosemary's Babies Company because we are a resource. We're more than just a program. We're a resource.
Rosemary, again, somebody wants to know, does Rosemary have a partnership with CPS?
No, we don't. CPS really doesn't talk a lot about teen pregnancy. Mike Morawski is a huge supporter of Rosemary's Babies Company, helped us actually get our organization off the ground. But yeah, we really don't have a partnership with them. They do refer to us, but we don't necessarily partner with them. They're not really big on wanting to discuss that issue in the schools. And so we've been working on that for the past few years. But again, they refer, but they really don't want to, kind of discuss those numbers or, really think about that it's a true problem. And though teenage pregnancy, the numbers have reduced, we've actually seen an increase from younger kids. So we're having more 13 and 14-year-olds contacting us and being displaced from their homes. Sexuality is out there and parents think, oh, well, my baby's 12. I don't have to talk to her. We're letting people know you should talking to your children at the youngest age possible because it may not be you introducing your children to these activities, but they are seeing them everywhere. They're even seeing them in Disney movies now and these PG shows, they're kissing each other and doing something. You're like, wait a minute, I used to see Smurfette. She never kissed Papa Smurf in the mouth. So, they're seeing more of this and parents need to really talk to their children. We support teen parents, but we are big advocates for reducing dual pregnancy and basically telling teen parents to wait. And if you are sexually active, please be safe. So we do that education as well.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like great work. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you want to leave with the audience?
Yeah, if you know somebody, please refer them. You can text us through 513-813-TEEN. You can contact me or our staff through any social media platform. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. 24 hours a day. Again, our resources are free. If a teen dad needs to get to the event, we will transport them there and transport them back home if they need to get there. Again, we want to be accessible and we want people to know Rosemary's Babies Company has been here since 2016 and we plan to stay and grow and continue to serve. We served about 1,000 teens if we add in those we served this year. So we're very excited about that as we turn 5 this year.
All right, Rosemary, thank you for your time and I hope the event goes well.
Thank you. Talk soon. Bye-bye.
Most def. That's Rosemary with Rosemary's Babies Company. Sounds like great work. And people are saying it might be difficult to connect with some of the fathers. Yeah, I can see that. But you start and then you build and you grow. So, hopefully they'll do this every single year. And it's drive by. You drive through. You don't have to get out, get the resources, get what they have to share with you, and move on. Love it. Love it. Love it. Anybody out there supporting our youth, I support you 100%. Tanika writes, this sounds like an amazing organization. Sounds like doing great work. Good work. We will never vote our way out of this. You're right. You're right, Def. You're right about that. I agree. Dollars equals solace. Solace equals attention. Okay. All right. I think I know I don't understand, but okay. I don't have to understand everything. So again, let me show this again. Rosemary writes, we love Carrie Bloom. She does work with us. It's very interesting when you hear people in these organizations talk about who's working with them. She mentioned Mike Morosky. Now she's saying Carrie Bloom. And it's very interesting because I keep hearing the same names come up across different organizations that's working for good stuff in our community. And that means that these individuals must be doing something right. They must have the right mentality. It must. Like I said, I don't do endorsements. Media platform are open to everybody. As long as you're not an enemy to our community. Other than that, I don't want to deal with you. Your money's not good here. We ain't got no time for that. But if you on some real ish and you trying to do something positive, great. Great. Milani writes, Kamara writes, then you should invite them on the show. Absolutely. You always do. Always do, Kamara. We love Carrie Bloom. She does work with us. Milani writes, because used to have a program similar to this. It was called PSI through Children's Hospital. These kids need information. Yeah, I'm with that. You know, with my daughter, with my son, they're gonna learn. They're gonna learn all about the birds and the bees from dad. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm gonna tell them what it is, how it is, what to do, what to look for, what to expect, because I want to have that conversation before somebody else does. They'd be at school and somebody say some knucklehead shit and get it all wrong. So Lemmy writes, good morning. Good morning to you, Lemmy. Good to see you. They were introducing sexuality in our schools at a younger age. I've seen videos where children are being taught about anal sex. It would appear to me that CPS should be having this conversation. Yeah, I mean, each parent got to make their own decisions. For me, the earlier the better. That's how I roll. I want to tell you early. I want to be the first person to get to you. Because if not, you might grow up like I did. You know what I'm saying? I'm listening to Too Short, thinking that's the way that you interact with a girl. I mean, nobody could have told me anything different. I'm like, oh, what? Tupac? Oh, snap. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, that sounds about right. What is this? Juneteenth. I read yesterday that the U.S. Senate voted to make Juneteenth national holiday. Is that right? You see that? You see, Senate unanimously passes a bill making Juneteenth a federal holiday. And it looks like now this is going to go to the desk of the president, Joe Biden. Why wouldn't he sign it? So it looks like Juneteenth is going to be a federal holiday real soon, just in time for Juneteenth. The Juneteenth National Independence Day Act is now going to head to the House for approval. If it passes, President Joe Biden will sign it into law, which means that every federal employee will be granted a day off to commemorate June 19th, 1865, the day enslaved people in Galveston, Texas discovered that they'd actually been freed. And it was 2.5 years later, also known as Freedom Day or Emancipation Day. And apparently there was one white male Republican senator that blocked it from being passed last year. But a year has passed, and when he was asked about it, he was like, previously I had some issues about the funding, but now I'm 100% for it. I'm going to get out the way. So there it is. Sister Iris writes, Nathan and I, we walk with Miss Opal across the bridge to get Juneteenth as a national holiday. What's up with Miss Opal? I do remember that. I was very grateful for that opportunity. To me, that was historic. I don't know that woman, but just to be around her energy and what she was trying to do, I thought it was great. Quite honestly, I thought it was. I was very moved. I was very moved. When you just see somebody, so into something that's bigger than themselves, it makes you want to be a part of it, right? Yeah. Yeah, so it's going to be a federal holiday. And then, you got businesses that will take the cue of the federal government, right? And it is what it should have been a federal holiday a long time ago, but it is what it is. Just a little good news for people that think those kind of things are good news. Jenny writes, yay. It'll just be like MLK Day. Every non-federal employee will still not get the day off. Could be. Could be. Iris writes, she's doing well, still pushing us, pushing as you see this is something Get Baby. It was good to hear that she's doing well. Good to hear. I've thought about her since then. Lemmy writes, now are reparations. The reparations team, it's not impossible. It's not impossible. It's not impossible, but it's going to take a grassroots effort from some big states, a lot of work, but it's possible. It'll be a great day. And America remains a race until America pays its debt. America is a racist country. Period. I don't talk about no damn LeBron James and all the black billionaires, and I don't hear nothing. Nothing of that matters. Until you pay your debt, then you ain't sorry. It's simple. Until you acknowledge the wrong, then you're not really sorry. Period. That goes for the federal government. That goes for individual relationships. You can't say you sorry if you ain't acknowledging what you did. That's the first step. Where to do that at? Let me see. What time is the Juneteenth flag raising at City Hall? I don't know, Kamara. I could look it up. Juneteenth, now the education begins. Let me see. Reparations will not happen. I just don't believe that it'll happen. Well, Brandon, it can happen. I 100% believe that reparations can happen. It's just going to take a groundswell of movement and action. It's going to be much more than people like me and you talking. It's going to be a lot more than rhetoric, but it can happen. It can happen. It can happen starting in our community if we could get on the same page. So people say, I don't believe in studies. I do believe in studies. Do the study. Look at the numbers. When the numbers come back and tell you what we already did, then what? Now we got nowhere else to go. So let's just get comfortable with the whole study phase. All right. Because some people are like, oh boy, they want to study. Let them study it. That's just a part of the phase. Right? That's study phase. Once they get done with the study phase, then we can get back to let's cut the check phase. But the study phase comes before the check phase. And that's just the way this reparation thing is going to happen. It's going to happen that way. Let them do a study. Every state in the union should be doing a study about what is owed to the descendants of slaves in their particular state. Every single state. Because the story of Kentucky is going to be very similar, but uniquely different than the story of Ohio and Pennsylvania and Indiana and Michigan and Illinois and Vermont and Texas and Florida and Arkansas and Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? Every state's got an individual horrific things that happen that need to be addressed, but it's all a part of the same narrative, and that is cut the check. Simple as that. Brandon writes, it can, but I just don't see it, Brother Nate. I mean, I respect your opinion. I mean, I hear you. It's just all about the attitude we bring to it. Let me see. Terrence writes, we can get reparations at the lowest level of government like has been done in other cities. Stop saying it can't be done with it has been done in other areas. Right. It can be done. My issue is that so Caucasians will receive reparations when it's passed. Here in Kentucky, I see a tremendous amount of Caucasian mothers with black children. I mean, that might happen. When they start cutting checks, that might happen. But I don't know about you, but like if somebody cuts me a check, the only thing I worry about is the check that's got my name on it. I'm not worried about what somebody else's check has on it. You do what you're going to do with your check. I'm going to do what I'm going to do with my check. Sister Iris writes 10 a.m. on Friday. I like to be there, and to do that on Friday is going to be a tricky day. I like to be there for that and get some original video. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivy. This is your West Side Connection, the one and only Drop Squad 52. The one and the few Black not Democrats. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. How you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm doing good. Great topics, man. I'm sitting here listening about the announcement of the Juneteenth holiday bill going back to the House for final clearance and then going to the president. I hope that happens, but I'm going to try to jog your memory. If you can remember a couple years back when I was saying that the country elected the first Black president twice, and we're not going to see the effects of that as a country because America elected Barack Obama twice. So that says more about America than it does about the man Barack Obama, because obviously right now he's been out of office for what, 6, 7 years, and he's not really speaking loudly or publicly about black issues. I mean, you know what I mean when I say he's putting his name on it. I know he has my brother's keeper, but I'm talking about his position in the black community. And so I think that the effects of America electing a black president twice, and then now in 2020 they elected the first black female vice president. That says a lot about the country more than it does about those two individuals, Kamala Harris and Barack Hussein Obama. And then you fast forward now to 2021. There's serious talk about reparations. Now, I'm hearing you saying it's a possibility, but other people saying, oh, no, it'll never happen because America's racist or America's this or that. But it's been proven, based on the things that I just laid out, it's been proven that this country is moving in a different direction when it comes to the black people of this country. So my question to you, Mr. Ivy, before I hang up, and I'll listen to it off the air, and hopefully you'll read some of the comments. With all these things happening now, what do you think success will look like for black people as a group, not individuals? Because you said earlier, you got LeBron James, you got Jay-Z, you got P. Diddy, you got Mr. Johnson, you got all these millionaires and billionaires and heads of state and all this. That's already there. But I'm asking you the question: what to you does success look like for black people as a group? And that's all I got for you, Mr. Ivy. Drop Squad 52. Dropping science to anyone who wants to catch it. Oh, and by the way, tell Politically Petty he needs to put in some more work, because that last episode was some BS. Peace.
Wow. Appreciate the call. Well, to answer your question directly, as much as I can, I would say that we look at, it's a bunch of indicators, man. It's a bunch of indicators. I mean, number one, the infant mortality rate, the rate at which black babies are struggling to reach their first birthday. Alongside of that is the death rate of recent mothers, the percentage at which they can reach that 1 year anniversary safely and healthily, in a healthy way with their children. Economically, I mean, you can look at black home ownership, you can look at black wealth building, in terms of, living paycheck to paycheck, having actual savings in the banks. I mean, you can look at all those kind of numbers to determine the health of the community. You know what I'm saying? I think success also looks like, here locally, if we can get an increase of people who are actually registered voters and participating in what's going on. I mean, so there's a numerous. I would start with those if we're going to test the health, because I'm a big believer that, as grown individuals, if people have wealth, they know what to do with it, and they know what to do with it. I mean, you're gonna have some outliers here or there where people do crazy stuff. Like I saw this YouTube video, or maybe it was a World Star video, where his brother hit the lottery for $30,000, bought a chain for $20,000. The chain gets snatched. You're gonna have that. You're gonna have that. But by and large, I mean, it's about wealth building, quite honestly. So that's a big question, man. I appreciate it. Hopefully I answered a little bit. Back to the phones we go. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nathan. It's Kev on the cell.
Hey, good morning, Kev.
I had some beautiful days, man. It's Ohio weather just, boy, to trip you out. Here to tell you. Real quickly, man. So the reparations question, the biggest opportunity I see, and as a person not from the United States originally, of course, I would not have any part of the class. But I have plenty of family members. So I do want to line out that I have plenty of family members that would be absolutely part of the class. Right. The biggest opportunity I see is the size of the class. It's just a large pool of people and a large pool of money. I was part of a suit back in 2009, I think it was 2008, 2009, a class action suit against one of the major mortgage companies, and they had found that they did some redlining, and they also did some issues with interest rates. They basically were giving higher interest rates to blacks, right? And so I was impacted by that. And they sent me a check, Nathan. They sent me a check. The class was large enough. Well, first off, the payout was $550 million. And I got a check for $15.57. Well, number one, it tells you how many people were affected with that, which is sad in and of itself. But that was just in a pool of, I don't know, if we did the math, so you could divide by 3 basically, and that'll tell you that it's like 150 million people. That's basically what it works out to be after you take out the people, the cut that the attorneys probably got, right, which is like a third. So actually, I take that back. So it's like actually it's more like 200 million people. So 200 million people. When we look at our population is 40 million people, right, roughly, in the United States, and that there's also other people who are, and because when they say black, generally they're saying black. They're not saying people who are of mixed race or any of that. They're just talking about quote unquote African American, right? So it's a 40 million people class, and I keep saying, so if you give $1,000 to 40 million people, that's $4 billion. What number do you get to where it actually does make sense, and you say, okay, now we have literally repaired, right? Because that's what reparations is. It's to repair the issue that we had before. I think that's the part that people don't like to talk about, but it's a reality, and so that's the part that makes people quash things. And then people come back and say stuff like, "Well, yeah, they just gave out $1.9 trillion for this relief for COVID." Yeah, they did, because they have a plan on everybody going back to work and everybody putting that money back into the work, into the environment, back into the economy, and that's why they're willing to do that. That's basically seed money. They're seeding back that money just like they did back in 2009. When Barack took office, they're seeding that money, saying, yeah, but once we put this money back into the economy, we'll get the money back. That's not saying that can't happen, but kind of illustrative of what you just said. The guy took the $30,000 and took $20,000 and went and bought a chain. A lot of people don't make great decisions when they get a bunch of money. So I don't know, man. I think that's the big impediment. And I think that once people start talking about the actual numbers, not the emotion, because everybody knows the worst travesty, they talk about what happened to the Jewish people, which was a travesty. They talk about that incessantly. So we know that is their the biggest woe of the world is that they, that Auschwitz happened. But we all know that truly the biggest woe of the world, the worst thing that ever happened anywhere in the world, was slavery. It did not just happen to, not to diminish them, a small group of people. It happened to people for literally 400 years. I think that the World War II and World War I and World War II campaigns together were a total of like 8 or 9 years. They basically took our rights, our freedoms, our lives, turned us into chattel for 400 years. The two are not comparable, right? They're not comparable at all. So, but we again, me, it is what it is, man. We got to get down to real numbers. We got to talk about what the effect is when you do these things, quote unquote, for us. Which I'll tell you up front. I tell you, like I told, and rest in peace, Commissioner Todd Portune, when I met with him. Y'all say you're doing stuff for us, but we keep seeing you do stuff to us. and claim that you're doing it as a favor to us. No, thank you. Last part, man. So a family member of mine had a house that was she got a appraisal over the weekend, and this house is in an up and coming neighborhood. The houses in this area, a 2-bedroom house, okay, is going for like $200,000. Tell me why my family member has a 5-bedroom home, 3,000 square feet, and they told her house is worth $133,000. How can that be right? I wonder if it's because of the color of her skin. I think though we got to still get back to it, man. Listen, everybody crush them numbers. It sounds crazy. I know we actually have to care about the numbers, but what I want is to be repaired. I want my family to be repaired. I won't be repaired. I had to go back to London to get mine, I guess. I'm not going back there anytime soon. So, but I want us to be repaired. So when they talk about doing these things, it's not just about getting a paycheck. It's about how are you going to repair us. If you say you're going to repair us by giving opportunity grants to every black person in America that will give them an opportunity to go to school if they want to, whether it be trade school or college, or will allow them to start their own business or something like that, absolutely. Let's make that happen. But if they send you a check for $1,000, you have not been repaired. You've been paid off. I'll talk to you later, bro.
All right,
what it
thanks
is.
for the call. It's Kev on the cell. Kev on the cell. Appreciate the call. You can call in and share your thoughts as well at 513-873-7134. You can see the number right there. I'm going to take a quick pause, and then we'll come right back. I'm not going anywhere. You got me for up to the top of the hour this morning. Hot or not. That's how we started the show. Tupac Pride t-shirts. Don't think too much about it, family. Just give me your gut reaction. Hot or not is what I want to know. We'll be right back.
Love interrupted by tragedy. Lost in the drought of nightfall. Running in search of the remedy. Trying to find her place in it all. Focused only on the negative. All she can attract is pain. Perception is what will manifest. Thought she could escape, but it's all the same. Birds fly south for the winter, but she ran to the west side. And though much was stolen, much still abides. And I know she'd rather keep her distance, but as time moves on, she's drifting away. Drifting away from me. But did the ocean breeze specify you? Did the palm trees sanctify you? I bet the ocean breeze did advise you that you'll never find you on the run from yourself. On the run from yourself. Concrete will shape to quicksand. Just when you think you're in control, but you're not alone. Take my hand. No shame in the surrender to a bigger picture. Birds fly south for the winter, but you ran to the west side. And though much was stolen, much still abides. And I know you don't wanna burn bridges, but as time moves on, you slipping away from me. But did the ocean breeze pacify you? Did the palm trees sanctify you? I bet the ocean breeze did advise you that you'll never find you on the run from yourself, on the run from yourself.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Nate Ivy with you. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood as always, and we chopping it up. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. So let's get back into it. So we kicked off the show talking about hot or not Tupac Pride t-shirts. Don't even think too much about it. Just give me your gut. Were you a Tupac fan? How would Tupac feel about this? If you think he would sanction this? He might. I don't know. He might, but this is what the folks at the Tupac Foundation have decided to do, and they're raising money for organizations that will benefit transgender Black women and the LGBTQ community, right? Homelessness in youth that are LGBTQ. I think that's admirable. Okay, who's got a problem with that? Nobody. If you haven't been made aware, the U.S. Senate passed a bill just yesterday to recognize June 19th or Juneteenth as an official holiday. It passed with unanimous consent without a roll call vote or objections from the chamber. Now, there'd be a lot of folks, if you go back 10, 15, 20 years, a lot of folks would say they would never see a day when Juneteenth would be a national holiday, but here we are. What's the next step? Well, as I understand, the next step is it goes back to the House of Representatives for approval. And if it passes, then Joe Biden will have a decision to make. And by all indication, it looks like he'll sign it. So is that a great day? Does that mean that we're moving in the right direction? How impactful is that really? What does that really mean? And is that a window? Does that give us some glimmer of hope about reparations? Right? So now we acknowledging Juneteenth. It's not that big of a step to start acknowledging that the descendants of slaves are owed something. And I'm just appealing to people. A lot of folks don't like the whole, when they start talking about doing studies. To me, I like it. Because once you get the study out of the way, it works in two ways for you. One, it's out of the way. So they can't use that as a distraction or a stopgap or whatever, a speed bump. But then two, now you got the numbers, and numbers never lie. Numbers are objective. If the numbers say here's what we owed, then that's what we owed. Right? And whether you a Democrat or Republican or QAnon or whatever the hell you into, you can look at the numbers. They are what you can read it for yourself. Same thing here in the city of Cincinnati. We don't talk about it too much, but there was some people in Cincinnati that wanted to spend $1 million to do a comprehensive study about racism throughout the government here in the city of Cincinnati in all aspects. It was $1 million. A lot of people was like, we don't need this. We already know. Knowing and proving is two different things. You might be able to know, you might know a lot, but when you're trying to convince somebody who's on the other side of the aisle, or somebody's got a whole different perspective and they don't know what you know, they need facts. They need the numbers in black and white. And as I understand it, I think that council voted for it, but they voted to fund it some other time. I'm not even sure where it is right now. It's just languishing somewhere. I'm for the studies. Get the study out the way. The study's all it's going to do is back you up. Boom. Now we got the study out the way. Now the study's backing up what we want and what we think. Now what? Let's get to it. There should be a study in every state in the union. Every individual state should do a reparation study to do an analysis of the history of how the descendants of slaves were treated and what they're owed. Every single one. And it should be a part of a national tapestry. We all put it together. And then when we look at it all together, you know what that says? Cut the check. That's what it says. That's what it's going to say. Tupac on Pride shirts is more a reflection of the board in charge of the image than Tupac itself. Alicia is on point. If they approve Juneteenth as a national holiday, then how will they debunk the 1619 project that Trump approved? Man, these fools is going nuts about teaching critical race theory. Did you hear about what they're doing in Texas? Oh man, down in Texas, the governor has signed a law basically barring teachers from teaching about race. I mean, this is crazy. Texas critical race theory bill limiting teaching of current events signed into law. They don't want you to teach about current events. See, this is how we know that the miseducation of black people and white people in this country was not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence that significant parts of American history are omitted from the history books that we think that our kids are being taught from. That's not a coincidence. That's the plan. Because history is determined by the victors. They are the victors. So they rewrote the history. You want to call it whitewashing, then call it whitewashing. Call it what it is. But Texas is one of a handful of states that have approved legislation that prescribes how teachers discuss current events and prohibits students from receiving credit for participating in civic activities. So basically, it outlines the way that Texas teachers are allowed to teach about the history of racism in the classroom. That's right. Like, they're not allowed to teach about white privilege. Couldn't make this up. Yes, because white privilege is a myth that was created by black people to describe their own circumstances that are really their fault, right? That is crazy. That is crazy. Governor Greg Abbott has signed what people are calling a very controversial bill. Now, what is critical race theory? It's an academic term that studies how race and racism have impacted social and local structures in the United States. That's it. And these GOP leaders, the Republicans, they are losing their mind because they're afraid that children might go to school and actually learn about the real history of America. And it just goes to show you they want your kids to be miseducated. They want you to be dumb and stupid because then they can force feed you whatever nonsense that they want to teach you. They don't want you to know the truth. I thought it was a classroom, not a propaganda room, but that's how they're running. Oh, this is some of that liberal, some of that pro-black propaganda. You know what? Huh? The bill also states that teachers cannot be compelled to discuss current events, and if they do, they must give deference to both sides. So what does that mean? Let's take Charlottesville. So the teachers trying to teach about racism, modern day racism, they've got to do their research to try to find some superlatives for the racist side, like the Klan, the modern day Klan. They got to come up with a way to try to talk about how there's something positive in what they're doing. Well, these are just white people that care about their homes. They were afraid of their homes, and their fear is justified because they fear. What? Every state in the union, man, where you have a Republican governor and you have a Republican-led or majority in the legislature, they're going to try to do the same thing. And do everything. So what they're going to try to do. Dale writes, they conflate 1619 Project and CRT. CRT is taught in colleges, upper level class, and law school, not even taught on parochial level. Man, listen, that's what school is for you to get challenged, for you to learn how to think critically, right? That's it. I don't have a problem with it, man. I don't have a problem with it at all. I say teach whatever the history is. Like, if people in American history was bold enough to do these things, then we should be bold enough to tell people about what people in American history actually did. That's what I say. But I say the same thing to grown folks. Like, if you bold enough to do something, you should be bold enough to say you did it. It's what I did, period. And so what? The way young white people come out in droves to protest scared the bejesus out of old white racists. Being woke is the antidote to ending white supremacy. You know, that's a good point. So they sat back and watched them like, oh, my God, things are going to change. You know, I bet that. The more since you bring that up, I bet that's true, TNT. I bet you go back a year ago to the nationwide George Floyd protest. In my lifetime, I had never seen anything like that before. You had social movements, protest movements in all the major cities, and it went on for weeks and weeks and weeks. People would not go home. Now, you know me, I'm your friendly neighborhood agent provocateur. So I'm on the air stirring the pot. Stay out there. Give them hell. I loved it. I'm unhappy that it stopped in the city of Cincinnati. Remember when you had people going down to city council meetings, giving them hell, giving them the business? Now, COVID shut down a lot of that. Remember that? I loved it. It was theater every single day. It was must-see TV. I loved it. It was great. But to some people, they were scared out of their minds. Like, oh, they're going to take our pension. What's next? What's next? Lemmy writes, Black and brown Texans, vote them out. Maurice writes, I don't want reparations. I'm a researcher in the Census Bureau, the Freedom Bank, etc. I prove my ancestors had anything. The government has to give me the money. The land and my business is on them. I want all the land, anything else this government stole from my ancestors. I'm with you on that. Somebody writes, Texas is a whole mess. They got some real problems down there. Again, we ain't no different. We talking about Texas. We in Ohio. Ohio is a mess. We got a Republican governor who has no spine whatsoever, and he desperately wants to be reelected. You know, that's a recipe for a disaster. You got no spine, and he's desperate to get reelected. He'll do anything to get reelected. And you got a majority Republican state legislator that does what they want to do, right? It don't matter what the people want. It's about their goofy agenda. So don't think that something like that can't happen in Ohio. It can, and it can pass. Everybody love Mike DeWine. Mike DeWine, please. Say it with me, y'all. Mike DeWine has no spine. Mike DeWine has no spine. And John Cranley has no penis. So we up shit's creek in this governor's race. His wife might argue with that, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Oh my God. I'm having too much fun. Let's accept our own and be ourselves, family, in the spirit of our Father. Okay. Sounds good. Let me move on. This is a very sad story. Very sad story. And part of me blames Michael Jordan. A Mississippi teen, 16 years old, was arrested for killing his friend over Nike Air Jordan sneakers. Apparently, he got into a fight with his friend over the shoes and ended up opening fire on him. According to a news release, he's been charged with one count of a drive-by shooting. And then the charges were upgraded due to the victim's death. Now, remember last year you had two 19-year-old boys that were arrested in Florida after killing an 18-year-old girl over some Adidas Yeezys. And to make it all the more home, I got a little brother. We call him Stones. I got a little brother named Stones. And he told me the story about he was in Over the Rhine. This is like the old Over the Rhine, right? Many, many years ago. He said he got somebody stole the Jordan's office. I don't know if it was Over the Rhine or not. I think it was somewhere else. Actually. Let me take that back. I don't think it was Over the Rhine. Nah, I think it was on the west side. He was on the west side. And I can't remember exactly where. He got robbed at gunpoint for his Air Jordans. They took him off his shoes. Like, give them to me. Like, run them jewels. And is it Michael Jordan's fault? Like, not directly, but damn, them shoes so damn expensive. They've been turned into such a valuable object. Like, for instance, I now know, for many years I didn't know this, but it dawned on me within the last 24 hours. I was mentally preparing for the show. But some of y'all might remember a movie called Pulp Fiction. How many remember the movie Pulp Fiction? In the movie Pulp Fiction, it was some great stuff in that movie, by the way. It's some great stuff. There's a great stuff in that movie, man. And a lot of people criticize the movie because they used the N-word and it was Quentin Tarantino. It was very, very violent. But you had, I'm about to get medieval on that ass. Remember that? That's some great shit in that movie, man. Ving Rhames. John Travolta, for whatever this means, resuscitated his career with that movie. He became a big star again. Them and that movie in the Church of Scientology. And then you had the character that was played by Sam Jackson. Sam Jackson was excellent in that movie. Just excellent performances, right? And I can't remember the entire plot, but Sam Jackson and John Travolta's characters, they worked for the character that was played by Ving Rhames. Ving Rhames was like a big time mob boss in LA. And apparently somebody has stole a briefcase from him. Remember this? Because that's how the movie opens. And they stole something from him, something very valuable that was in a briefcase. And in the movie, you never get a chance to see what's in the briefcase. You just see images like this. Like you can't really see what's in there, but it seems like it's golden. Like, is it gold bars? You don't know what's in that damn briefcase. But whatever it was pretty valuable. And a lot of people lost their lives, or people lost their lives because of it. I think at least 2 people. There was a lot of debate about it because the N-word was used, and Quentin Tarantino obviously is not black. But I now know what was in the briefcase. It was some limited editions Air Jordans. Now we know that's what was in the briefcase. It wasn't gold bars. It wasn't the earliest Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. It was some gold-colored Air Jordans. That's what's in the briefcase. Because apparently it's pretty valuable, because mofos out here shooting your friends over shoes. The hell? Just a very sad story, man. But this is what happens when you devalue yourself. You put more value in trinkets than yourself. You know what I'm saying? And then our culture, man, you get a lot of props if you got the right kind of J's on. Like, oh shit, what are those? Oh, these are the MJ11s. Oh, these are the MJ19s. I mean, that means a whole lot to some people. It don't mean a goddamn thing to me, but to some people, it means everything. It means everything. And I guess you could say props to Michael Jordan, because he did what a business owner is supposed to do. He made it valuable. He made it into a cultural thing. But like I said, I had a little brother that almost got shot over this. Took the shoes right off his feet here in the city of Cincinnati. He said he was scared out of his mind. He gave them up, though. I'm like, I'm glad you did, bro. I remember when he bought the Air Jordans. I can see him in my mind's eye, all black. I don't know what number they were or what kind it was, but I remember him walking around the house. He was super happy. He was super happy about it until somebody got him. Run the jewels. That's what it means. Run the jewels. Give it up. Charles writes, it was Ving Rhames' soul in the briefcase. No, it was some gold-plated Air Jordans in that briefcase. We now know. We now know. Deborah writes, LOL, no, it wasn't. No, it was. Some gold-plated Air Jordans. Limited edition gold-plated Air Jordans. That's what was in the briefcase in the movie Pulp Fiction. We took us 20 years, but now we know. Now we know. Seems to be very, very valuable. Man, the things that some people value. If a friend shoots you over shoes, they are not your friend. Say that again. I know that's right. I know that's right. 16 years old over some damn Air Jordans. And you talk about low self-esteem, or maybe it's not. You know, we as humans have made these shoes so important. Super important. So very, very sad turn of events there. I think low self-esteem and a whole lot of other issues is in place there. You know, there's some people that just want to feel good, and putting on some shoes can make you feel like a somebody. And I get it. That's the way we set up our culture. That's the way we are as Americans. If you wear a certain label, then you successful. If you get some Versace, you successful. Oh, you got some Yeezys? Are those Yeezys? Are those the 9s? Nah, bro, these the 12s. The 12s? Oh my gosh, you got the 12s? This shit don't mean nothing. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nate.
Good morning.
This is Deborah Nesbitt, the voice of reason.
The voice of reason. Good morning, Deborah.
How you doing? No, sweetie, it was not gold-plated Air Jordans in the briefcase, sweetie. They wouldn't have lit up like that. What was in the briefcase was Marcellus Wallace's soul. Remember, there's a point where he opens up the briefcase and he looks at it and he says, that's very beautiful. It's something ephemeral, something they never expected to ever see. And if you, in the whole movie, Marcellus Wallace, he has his Band-Aid on the back of his neck because that's where his soul was taken out of his body.
I thought it was because of the razor bumps. I thought he had razor bumps.
It was a human. No. It was a human soul. And that's what he was trying to get back. It was not gold-plated Air Jordans.
I think it was gold-plated Air Jordans.
It was not. It was not, sweetie. It was. I don't know. It wasn't. It was not.
I don't know.
Take it from the ultimate nerd girl. That was what was in the briefcase.
Okay. All right. I appreciate that, Deborah.
All right.
Yep. Thanks for the call.
You're welcome.
It was gold-plated Air Jordans. That's what it was. His soul, that makes it was all sci-fi. No, he had the Band-Aid back there because he had razor bumps. That's what people used to do. Black men still do that when they get razor bumps. They put Band-Aid over it. I don't think it helps anything. Maybe it does, but I've never had razor bumps to that degree. I had a friend, though, like he's got a keloid back here. It was something terrible. He had to have surgery and everything. It's like it just exploded. He had this mass of just scar tissue in the back of his neck. I'm like, man, that's what you get trying to go get a ball fade. You can't get a ball fade for the rest of your life. No, seriously, it was gold-plated Air Jordans. It's not his soul. Where'd she get that from? That was his soul. That's gold-plated Air Jordans. The first ever Air Jordans he ever wore, they gold-plated them, and that's what was in it. And they stole them, and that was in the briefcase. Everybody knows that. Billy writes, Nate, you can't blame Jordan. I've had probably damn near a pair of J's and never robbed anyone to get them. Okay. Those shoes could have been cheaper. That's all I'm trying to say. The shoes could have been cheaper. Some of these shoes are $2, $3, more than that, thousands of dollars. There was a time when it was a lot of stories about people getting shot for Air Jordans. Like, give me them. And I blame Michael Jordan. He could have made them $20 like Stephon Marbury did. I had some Marberries, some Starberries. They was cool. Couldn't ball in them, but they was cool. I tried to ball in Starberries, and it was like balling in plastic wrap. In fact, plastic wrap might have been better. It was terrible. Absolutely terrible. Don't ever do that. Deborah writes, no. She gonna stick with it, huh? Deborah, I think that my theory is just as good as yours. Drop writes, the briefcase in Pulp Fiction is one of the most oft-debated popsicles of the movie. Tarantino himself has stated that the briefcase contains whatever the viewer wants it to be. Marcellus Wiley's soul is one. And Air Jordans is one as well. Lemmy writes, blame Nike. I do remember him saying that. You're right. It has been over the years anymore. I don't think anybody's debating anymore. It's kind of old news, but that's my theory. I thought it out there. You tell me. 513-873-7134. If you spend $1,000 on hoop shoes and don't own a home, we can't be friends. The joy of seeing that movie is now jeopardized for me now, family. Let's straighten it out soulfully. I don't blame Nike. I don't blame Jordan. I blame the consumers. Without the consumers, there'd be no product. Tarantino has admitted. Okay, I lost that. Marcia writes, good morning. The comments are coming in so fast. I missed them. I can't get them all in. Let me jump back over to the Chop Shop again and see what's going on. I don't necessarily agree that it should all be on the back of the federal government. Insurance companies, policy traded companies, and individual families should be included. Okay. J-Ron writes, good day. What's up? Dude sold the combination of the briefcase was 666. Okay. All right. Let me see. Okay, I think I got the comments there. Appreciate you. Can't stand Quentin Tarantino, however you spell his name. I think you got it right. I bet your feet were hurting. Psh, dogs was barking. Boy, don't ever do that. I'm in here trying to ball seriously with some strawberries. It's a wonder I ain't wrecked my shit completely. Excuse my language. Trying to watch my language. You know what I'm saying? For more people out there. Let me see. What else is here? I don't think so. I don't think we're going to do that. I don't think so. Let me go back here. I feel like I missed a bunch of comments. Let me go back here. I'm going to the library and review. Okay. Nothing wrong with that. Nate, it was the boss's dirty laundry. Is that what it was? The boss's dirty laundry? Okay. Charles writes his soul. Okay. It was his soul, huh? How they get his soul, I don't know. But I'm going to stick with my theory. My theory was some of the gold original, like the first ever Air Jordans. They did them all in gold. And Marcellus's people stole it and they was trying to get it back. Johnson List Cranley. You know what? I'm picking up off of a flow that Kathy Wilson once said. She once said that the mayor was, and she didn't spare no words, was penisless, but she used D-I-C-K. She was ridiculous. And she was talking about Charlie Lukeland. And then she wrote a follow-up piece saying the mayor is still penisless. And when I look at what's shaping up to be this governor's race, it ain't looking good. A man with no spine, a man with no penis, not a good thing. Not a good conversation. I mean, not a good combination right there. Nace, that's the line in the movie when they walk up to them robbing the diner. Really? Derek writes, Nate, man, you got me crying about balling and Starberries. You don't want to do it. Billy writes, you know damn well nobody want no Starberries. That's why he took his game and his shoes to China. Will school every first Wednesday of the month to go downtown and get the fresh pair of sweatsuits, then go back. Them Starberries look good. They look good. Like aesthetically, they were great. Balling, no. Should Barack Obama be the official leader of black people? What the hell? No. Who's the official leader of white people? Donald Trump? What you mean official leader of black? But black people don't need no official leader? What in the hell? What are we doing? Janice writes, hey, y'all. Good morning to you, Janice. We don't need no damn official leader. See, that's part of the problem. People think black folks need a leader. You need no damn leader. Lead yourself. Leader? I don't have no leader. I'm my leader. G.O.D. is my leader. You know what I'm saying? My wife, this family is what leads me. Nothing more than that. Leader? See, there you go, man, trying to make black people look dumb again. Talking about a damn leader. Black folks don't need no leader. Lead yourself. Simple as that. And that's it. That's it. You don't need nothing else. She wants her personal apology. Okay. How many people going to Freaknik? Freaknik's coming back. I've been reading about it. Freaknik. You know, that's one of the things that I always wish I had gone to. You know, so that was of my generation. Like in the summertime, all the black college people was going down to Freaknik. I had a couple buddies went down there. I never got a chance to go. And I'm thinking, you know what? Let me circle back around. Maybe it's my time now. I'm joking. I have no interest in it, but I used to hear all kind of stories. Did anybody ever go to Freaknik? I'm sure you did. I'm sure you was living your fabulous life 20 years ago. What was a combination of the briefcase and Pulp Fiction? Somebody said C66. What is the equivalent for a woman, a vaginalist woman? Yeah, that sounds about right. Maybe. Y'all enjoy your day. Got to get on with business. All right, Terrence, thank you for being here. Appreciate you stopping in and checking out the stream for a little bit. It means everything. Appreciate you. Democrats have to anoint Barack Obama as leader of black people and tell Al Sharpton to step down? Huh? Al Sharpton is just a media personality, man. He ain't bleeding nobody. He does a show that people like, and that's it. He's got a history. That's it. See, that's how they be trained. Anybody try to play black people like that, just be suspicious of them. Yeah, you need a leader. No, you don't need a leader. You're your own leader. Simple as that. Nothing more to it. Nothing more to it. That's it. Leader. The hell? What was that program back in the day with the Martians? They was dumb as F, but they had their supreme leader. That's what folks looking for, shaking my head. You talking about on SNL with the Coneheads? Is that what you talking about? That going way, way back. I went to Freaknik 2 years in a row. Fire. Yeah, I always wanted to go, man. Always wanted to go. Never got a chance to. Something always came up, like not being able to afford to go. That'll stop you from going. Some people, man, can travel with $15 in their pocket. I can't do that. I just researched Pulp Fiction. It said it was the guy's soul and 666 was the lock combination. Okay. All right. I hear you on that. I stand by what I said. It was gold-plated MJs. I stand by that. It's just a better story. I just like this. I like the story better. What is this? Now, I don't know about you, but in the spaces I've been traveling in, it seems as if the cicadas are dying out. Around the house, I get to walk in every day. I'll be walking as soon as this ends, I'll be on the streets of Cincinnati for the next hour. And I think today I'm not ready to go back to Eden Park. Eden Park belongs to the insects. I'm not ready to go back. I think today I'll just walk downtown and back real quick. Okay. But what I've noticed is I'm hearing less of cicada sounds. I'm seeing less of cicadas. I'm seeing less of the cicada remnants. I guess the insects and the birds are having a feast. And I'm torn on it. I'm torn about it. I'm torn about the end of the cicadas. Like, is it a minor sort of irritant a little bit? Yeah, it's a minor, small little irritant. It ain't nothing really big and all that involved. But what I loved about it is the way people reacted to it. Like when I'm hearing like people in the audience getting all in their heebie-jeebies about it and their feelings, I just feel like that is the funniest thing ever, man. I have enjoyed it. All you cicada-phobic people, thank you so much. I have enjoyed. It has been an unexpected source of entertainment for me. Thank you. And I need that. I got a lot going on. I need that. It has been a very, very fun source of entertainment. I loved it. So on that level, I'm sad to see him go away, but looks like we returning back to normal. Let me see. Kevin writes, that one too, Nate. LOL, we don't need a leader. We just need a platform. And then we need to pursue. He's right about that. We don't need a leader. We just need a platform. The briefcase was stolen from Satan. Ving Rhames' character more than likely sold his soul to the devil and had Sam and John retrieve it for him. They may have been angels. Marcellus did quote the Bible before the blew folks away. Just a theory, but it wasn't no Jordans. Charles, you're wrong. It was gold-plated Jordans, bro. And then think about this. There's a real your theory's got a problem with it. How you going to steal something from Satan? Come on, man. Think about this. You ain't stealing nothing from Satan. Whoever stole something from Satan and lived to tell about it? Nah, it was gold-plated Jordans. I'm on to something here. It was MJ's like the basketball on Space Jam. I don't know how we got here, but we here. And I appreciate you. But yeah, I noticed that yesterday. I was talking with the family about it. Like, man, these cicadas are going away. So, all you cicada-phobic folks, you can come back outside again. You don't have to have the full body net suit. You can put that up. It's safe to go outside again. They're not going to get you. Damn. I can get back to my normal routine. Charles writes, if you're an angel, like you're just not going to let this go, are you, Charles? It's gold-plated Jordans, bro. Maurice writes, I saw a grown man going crazy because a cicada was flying around him. I was in tears. Oh, man, listen. I was at the intersection of, this is in Coreyville, in Clifton. I was at the intersection of, is that Highland? I was at the intersection of Highland and Taft Road. And some people stopped in the middle of the intersection, y'all. No cap. Middle of the intersection. Both doors open in the front seat. They both jump out, swatting at a damn cicada. And I'm thinking to myself, you can't drive through the intersection and just pull off to the side? Hilarious, man. It's the funniest thing ever. TNT writes, I'm barbecuing as soon as they are all gone. You gonna let cicadas stop you from barbecuing, sis? What in the hell? Get that barbecue on. 10 black leaders who paved the way for racial equality. Oh my gosh. You still on that, huh? Hey, listen, family, it has been fun for me. I have enjoyed it. Don't forget, My Legacy Matters, Teen Father Resource Fair. This is a drive-through event. Takes place on Tuesday, coming up in less than a week, June 22nd, between 5:30 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. at Rosemary's Babies Company at 4439 Reading Road. teen fathers, 13 and 19-year-olds, and their children are welcome. Rosemary said something I didn't think about, but it sounds as true to me that you could have some fathers that might have some way about it. But, my personal viewpoint about taking care of children and being a father and responsibilities, I don't have no shame in my game. Whatever I got to do legally to provide for me and mine is what I'm going to do. I don't have no shame on it at all. You know what I'm saying? So for the fathers out there, I'm sure they're not listening to this show, just knowing the demographics. But if you know someone who's a teen father, shoot this flyer to them. Shoot this flyer to them right here. I'm going to post it immediately following the show. I'm going to post this flyer on my personal Facebook page and also the Nathan Ivy Show page. And I want you to check it out if you feel inclined to do so. If you think it's going to be a resource, share it so that, the opportunity and the resources don't get wasted. Okay? And hold on, hold on one second here. I got a call here. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the show.
So, Nate, I'm double dipping, and I apologize, but I got to say this. I thought of something. I ain't hearing nothing about Happy Father's Day, man. For Mother's Day, we heard Happy Mother's. People were saying Happy Mother's Day to me. I'm like, I'm a man. But I ain't hearing, not in one store, not from one person, not from nobody. People, say Happy Father's Day the same way y'all do Happy Mother's Day.
All right,
stop getting them raggedy ties.
All right, Kev, thanks for the call, man. No double dipping, but he had to get it in a little bit. No double dipping. It just makes the show messy. Are you hearing Happy Father's Day? I mean, let me see real quick. Let me do a quick Facebook. I mean, it's not the weekend yet, so it's really going to get super heated like over the weekend as we get close to Father's Day, when we're on Father's Day. That's when people are really going to start to hit it. Let me see here. Let me just do a quick scroll on my timeline. Hey, Omar, that's hilarious, man. That's hilarious, bro. Let me do a quick scroll on my timeline because I think I haven't been seeing it, but it might be a little bit too early for all of that. I don't know. But we going to say Happy Father's Day to all the fathers on Father's Day and the day before it. It's not Father's Day yet, so that's what people are saying. All right? He just wanted to go off. Let me see. That's okay. Listen, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. Have an excellent rest of your Wednesday. Happy hump day to you. All right. Wish everybody the best. I'll be back and hopefully better than ever tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. Until then, take care of yourself.
Talking
and I'm
to
out.
my mirror like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a that's what they don't understand. I'm back again like flu season. I broke records while loose leafing. I'm coming down my roof, leaving. Don't give a I don't care. Did the by my lonesome. No wonder now I'm on one. No shortcuts on that long run. All I really want is my share. Get on my God, on my told him it's nothing. In the discussion, got them feelings I throw all my pain on percussion. The